So, what day is it today?
Tuesday?
Wrong. It's NWA Day.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Attention, everyone. Welcome to the greatest wrestling program in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, let's party.
It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J. Cal, and I am very proud and honored and grateful to the NWA for setting up this interview for me today. Of course, we're talking about this week's Power, but the kind of people at the National Wrestling Alliance have been so generous with their time over the last few weeks. We had Wrecking Ball Legursky, we had the NWA National Champion Mike Mondo, and we have royalty in the house this week. We literally have a legit legend in the making, too hot to trot, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, former NWA U.S. Tag Team Champion, a Crockett Cup holder, and one of the cornerstones of the Southern Six, Alex Taylor. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me. You forgot to mention future NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, but we'll save that.
I didn't want to say anything like that because the big man's got that belt right now, and I don't want to cause any problems in the Southern Six because
ain't no problems. Thrilly's got to go on vacation at some point. I ain't saying it's going to be tomorrow. I ain't saying it's going to be next year. I'm just saying it's going to happen.
Let's go back in the way back machine, Alex Taylor, because you have come such a long way in such a short amount of time. And this is not meant as an insult at all, but from the Ill Begotten with good brother Jeremiah Plunkett and Danny Deals, beautiful. We love
always
JP.
Representing.
We love JP over here. In fact, he's been on this podcast. Danny Deals has been on this podcast. Kerry Morton's been on this podcast. Thrillbilly Silas Mason has been on this podcast. And now we get to add you to this podcast.
He saved the best for last.
Is that what it is? I just thought you were too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
I mean, that too, I guess.
So you came from, looking back at the NWA. And this, you're talking to somebody that's been following the NWA for the last 20 years. JP said he used to listen to the podcast when he was in high school, which made me feel as old as shit. But one of the things that he would always mention is the Tennessee talent. And there was a lot of guys who were underrated in Tennessee. And I believe you were one of those guys that came from Tennessee. Where did you come from, though? Like, where did Alex Taylor, where did the genesis of AT come? And I don't mean, mom and dad and all that stuff. I mean, what's your background? Where did you come from in terms of pro wrestling? Where did you get your start?
Oh, well, I trained up in Iowa at the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy with Seth Rollins and Merrick Brave. Also, even going back further than that, I was a, high school wannabe jock who wasn't good enough to play college football. So at that point, you're like, well, I didn't know what to do with my life. I tried college for a bit, and I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. And, I came home one day. I was working some crappy factory job, living in my parents' attic, and I decided I'm going to go be a pro wrestler like I always wanted to do because there's no one here to tell me I can't do it. So I just happened to cross they started Seth Rollins as a wrestling school in Iowa. So I just had no knowledge of geography because I have a Tennessee high school education. So I was like, that's got to be kind of close. So I packed up my crappy Isuzu rodeo and drove up there.
Wow. That's a pretty ballsy move. Were mom and dad supportive in that?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They probably just wanted me out of the house.
That's fair. The Black and Blue Academy, I mean, I think that's where Zicky Dice also came from. A couple other guys. Was he in your class too, Zicky Dice?
No, he came after me. I was in the second class.
Okay.
So I think I might be the longest of all the graduates. I might be the oldest one still going. I don't mean in age. I just mean as long as – because I think everybody from the first class has pretty much wrapped it up. And
Okay.
everyone from my class washed out pretty early. So last man standing, baby.
There it is. That's just one more accolade to put to the back of your name there. What was it about pro wrestling that drew you in? Like, did you grow up being a fan of pro wrestling, or is it something that caught on later in life, or how did that work out for you?
Oh man, everyone's always got these stories of like they were flipping channels and they saw it one day and changed their life. But as far as I can remember, it was just always on at the house, man. NASCAR and pro wrestling. I don't know if you can get more southern than that, but it's just I have vague like tiny memories of watching Nitro.
Okay.
But I was so young, but I knew that we were a WCW house, and I think my dad held out for about 2 weeks after they closed. It's like, we're not watching that WWF shit. And then 1 week it was just on, so I think he gave in pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, I look forward to every Monday, every Thursday, or whatever. SmackDown flipped around a couple days, but Fridays. I'd be Monday at school just waiting all day for Raw that night. And I think as I got a little bit older, high school, playing football, you're trying to get laid, so you don't really go to school talking about wrestling. So I kind of fell out of it for a bit there. And then one day it just came back. I was flipping channels and Raw was on, and I watched it and made me fall in love with it again.
It's funny you say that, because I'm a few years older than you, and I remember the same thing. Like, it was in the height of the NWO, WCW. Actually, it's before that, and I'm in high school, and I'm like, I'm not talking about wrestling. I'm trying to get a girl over here. We're not talking about wrestling. I mean, I'd be home watching it, but I wouldn't be talking about it at school. That's for sure. So It's funny that you say that. And then for Poil Del Mar, I want to acknowledge that I think I said Black and Blue, but it's Black and Brave. I want to make sure that we get the name correct. And then our pal Jeremiah Plunkett just jumped on and said AT grew up in a big George Goulas household. Can you confirm that?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
And it's, I feel like there's such a wealth of talent that has come from the Tennessee area that has infiltrated the National Wrestling Alliance. Of course, you've got the Joe Kazana Promotions, KC and AJ. You've got, of course, the Thrillbilly Silas Mason, your partner, Kerry Morton, the Morton family, really. And there's, and even some guys that, maybe they don't identify right away as, Tennessee guys. Like Mims is a Tennessee guy too, right?
I don't know about that.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some misinformation.
I mean, you got Kinsey and Kylie.
How could I forget them? Of course.
I wouldn't as far as wrestlers, Kinsey's the best wrestler in the company. I'm not even putting women on that. I'm saying wrestler, period.
I hear you. And I don't think I disagree with that. I feel like it's crazy because much like you, we got to see early Alex Taylor in the NWA. We also got to see early Kenzie Page in the NWA. And I feel like, and I'm totally right in saying this, like we saw her grow up in those few years. And not only did she grow up, but she glowed up, and she got to be one of the best wrestlers in the company. And she walked so that Kylie can run. And I think those girls are phenomenal. And I can't wait to see what's in store for them, for sure. Those Page sisters are tough as nails too.
And without Danny Deals, you got no Alex Taylor, you got no Page sisters. So I always give that man the flowers anytime. I'd be nowhere without Deals. I'd be at some shitty community center wrestling for $20 if it wasn't for him.
In the chat, they asked, and I'm sorry to derail the conversation here, but they want to know who your favorite WWE wrestler was. That's
tough. Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels. It goes back and forth depending on the day. My answer,
for sure, those are two really good choices.
Growing up as a little kid, like elementary school age, my favorite independent wrestler was Jeremiah Plunkett. I used to go to the matches and watch him, and it meant a lot. He was grizzled back then. You could tell he had some miles on him already, but he never slowed down.
Well, that Mid-America Championship too. Let's talk about a beautiful title belt that is misunderstood. I mean, I feel like that belt should be all across the territories, not just in Tennessee, but everywhere, because that's a beautiful championship, and it's held by, like you said, one of the grizzly veterans of the business.
I mean, there ain't nothing you can say to me that I probably won't agree with. Plunky is head and shoulders above so many guys that are featured on Power every week. And I don't know. We even got a plunky shout out on Jeff Jarrett's podcast today. I was listening. I heard they're speaking about the Mid American title and got a little shout out from Double J. So he knows.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's coming from like NWA royalty. You got to remember that guy's a multi-time world champion in his own right, let alone
when I think of the NWA world champion, I think of Jeff Jarrett, because that's when I was a kid, he was the NWA world champion and he lived down the street from me. Not literally, because he lives in a nice side of town in a big house. I just mean same zip code.
Sure. So does that mean that you had oh God, now I forgot her name. We'll skip it. Never mind.
Okay.
Famous singer whose name is like I can't think of right now, but used to babysit for Jeff Jarrett back in the day.
Taylor Swift.
There it is. I couldn't think of Taylor Swift. That's pretty sad. Anyways, let's talk more about you, more about your career. You took your Zuzu, you drove out to Iowa for Black and Brave, and then you come back to Tennessee. Where did you start? Like, you said Danny Dills was very instrumental in getting you established out there in Tennessee, but where did you start? Like, how did that all come into play?
I met this brother, Eric Andrews. He was a local guy here.
I remember Eric Andrews.
Oh yeah, the Dragon. Met up with him. He helped me go to a couple shows with him. Got on working for Bert Prentice, doing some of his shows. After a couple months, I was really hating life and my decisions, and that's when I met. That's when I met Deals. He saw me in the locker room one day, looking miserable, and he was like, "Hey, Crimson's having a show in Clarksville next week. He needs guys to help out," and said I could ride with him. So I rode with him, and we've been thick as thieves ever since.
Now, I know you. A lot of people know that you were a World Junior Heavyweight Champion, but did you know that Eric Andrews was a former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion?
I do know that. I was there when he won the title in Dyersburg, Tennessee.
Was it a full circle moment for you when you won the title yourself?
No, not really.
That's fair.
It was more about me, but
sure.
No, I like Eric. I haven't talked to him in years, but good brother. I hope he's doing well. But no, I was more concerned about me and my bank account when I won that title.
That, you know what, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, everyone's a business. You're a brand. You got to represent. You got to make that money. You got to climb that ladder. So I don't think there's anything wrong with putting you numero uno. What did it mean for you to win that junior heavyweight title? I mean, it's a very prestigious championship. It's been held by many legends throughout the years. It's got that similar history to the 10 pounds of gold. It's been a focal point for New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's been everywhere. It means something. What did it mean for you to hold it?
I mean, it was some validation. Because I mean, I know what I've been through for these last 10 years, and for someone to notice it and say, "Hey, he's the guy now." Hell, I held it for almost 2 years. Wrestled 4 countries with it. Nobody could beat me, so they had to get a 250-pound gorilla to pose as a junior heavyweight to take the title from me. I don't know what that's all about. I know no one else is asking these questions. In no world is Slade a junior heavyweight.
I kind of agree with you on that. That guy is so big, and I can kind of understand where you're coming from on that one. The dude's built like a brick house.
Yeah, well, I'll get it back. Don't worry.
Let's talk about the trip to Australia, the World is a Vampire tour, because that was the genesis really of the Southern Six. Of course, that was you, that was Kerry Morton, that was Silas, that was Kenzie, and in some world it was Mecha Wolf and Bestia 666. How did that? Yeah, sorry, man. I live in California. I go to TJ like 4 times a year. I like to go with the 666. But tell me about that formation, because it was very organic. At least that's what it seemed like on the surface. And I'm sitting there watching Kyle Davis's Instagram and trying to see as many clips as I can from what's happening out there in Australia. And you guys are all partnering together, and it was such a weird dichotomy. Tell me about how you guys got together.
Man, it's not even that deep of a story. We're just it was a couple days in, and we were just Thrillbilly is the one that came up with the name. because that's something that can only come from the mind of the Thrillbilly. But just after a couple days of wrestling all day, traveling, staying up all night, drinking all the booze on the continent, and it was just organic, man. It felt good. Crazy thing about that whole tour is, I want to say about 2 weeks before it, I got a text from Joe Galley and Kyle Davis, our group chat that still goes to this day. They said, "Hey, do you have a passport?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Because there was someone else was booked on the trip. They had some trouble getting a visa. They called me. And so I went into my job next day. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to Australia for 3 weeks. You can fire me if you want, but I'm going."
I think you made the right decision.
Oh, yeah. And another great thing about that trip, I forget how many days we were there, but halfway through, I tear my AC joint and part of my trap, whatever. But so for half the shows, I get to go out there, and I got a prescription, but I'm a little pilled up.
Okay.
May have had a couple beers beforehand. You know,
Sure.
it's another continent. I would never wrestle like that. I'm just saying, I'm holding the stick. I get to talk for really the first time freely, and I think the boss saw me in a different light after that. It put hey, this guy's not an idiot. He can speak somewhat coherently with his stupid Southern accent. But
you say stupid. I think many of the audience think it's endearing.
I meant it endearing.
There it is. There it is. Maybe we could even go as far as say charming Southern accent, right?
Charming. I love it.
So, how was that? Number one, how was the Australian medical over there? I mean, obviously, you're in a different country, you're in a different continent. I mean, it's a little bit different than getting hurt at home, and you're kind of relying on, again, your brothers in the six, the NWA to kind of make sure that you're okay, because you're still doing dates, you're still going town to town, but now you have a big obstacle in front of you, this injury, and you're still there, you're still involved. Tell me about that progress.
Well, let me tell you, the medical care there is fantastic. I got into the injury tent at the place. They gave me this thing called the green whistle, right?
Okay.
So basically what the lady told me, she's like, it's not morphine, but it's like morphine. It's just like a little inhaler thing. Every time you're in a little pain, you take a puff, and brother. So by the time they got me in the ambulance, and I was like, "Hey, what are we doing here? Let's get out of this ambulance." They're like, "No, don't worry, honey. It's free." And I was like, "Hell yeah, take me in this ambulance. I've always wanted to ride in one. I could never afford it before."
Right.
So, yeah, I get to the hospital. They're doing x-rays and stuff. And this doctor, nurse, whatever lady, she's telling me all this stuff about we might have to do this and surgery and blah, blah, blah. And I'm on another planet from this thing I've been puffing on. And so I was like, "Ma'am, if you'll go out in that hallway, there's a man in a suit and tie. His name's Joe Galley. Get him and tell him everything you just told me." So Joe Galley took care of me. He saved my life that tour. I'd still be stranded at that hospital if it wasn't for him.
But at least it would have been a cheaper stay.
Yeah.
Than if it was in the States.
They probably would have kicked me out eventually.
Well, sure. Hey, and look, you can get by with your looks and charm. There's wrestling promotions in Australia. I mean, it wouldn't be like you were stuck there.
Oh, yeah. I met some good brothers over there. They would have took care of me.
So, and this is such a crazy story because, again, we as Americans obviously don't have that luxury. Like, when you get hurt here, you're kind of in trouble. So for you to be in a very fortunate place to get hurt, but I'm sure the recovery process still took a long time in getting back to normal. How long were you out for? Because, I mean, I kind of remember you being back in the ring pretty quickly.
My first match back was the Crockett Cup of that year. So it was, the recovery time was supposed to be, I want to say it was like 6 weeks without doing anything. And then like 4 weeks after that of, I don't know, I was supposed to be in the sling for like a month, and then maybe 8 weeks after that. And then I could start training. I don't know. I was back 2 months later though. So I was like, "Brother, I got a spot now. I can't lose it."
You mentioned the Crockett Cup, but I still remember you at the chase and that fall that you took, and we all thought you died in the ring. Yeah, I mean, watching it on pay-per-view, it looked like you were dead in the water. When you fell and you hit the rope and your body kind of bounced weird. How did you survive that? And was there any lasting pain or injury from that?
Well, I mean, there was a second there I thought I was dead too. Buddy Landell reached down to pick me up, and I got scared. But then, no.
Sorry, that's funny.
No, it was. I landed in the ring, and the first thing I did, I wiggled my toes to make sure I wasn't paralyzed, because it was scary, in the moment. But as soon as I landed, it hurt like a sumbitch. But I knew that I wasn't crippled, so then I saw Deals come towards me, and I was like, I better get out of the way. So I rolled out of the ring. If you watch the video, it looks like he pushes me out of the ring. He does not. So I saw all the comments where people were burying him for not concerned with my safety. But no, that was all me. He comes over there, he comes to touch me, and I roll out of the way. And it was pretty sore for a week or two, but nothing. I mean, maybe I'll feel it in another 20 years, but we'll see.
That's the Alex Taylor 20 years from now's problem, not yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You beat Joe Alonzo for that World Junior Heavyweight Championship, and it was kind of out of nowhere. A lot of us weren't anticipating that. Of course, it was at an NWA Chicago event, and those events aren't televised, so we just heard about it from word of mouth, especially on social media and stuff like that. What a trip to win that title in Chicago. I imagine that was kind of weird for you. And Joe Alonzo was kind of, for a lack of a better term, he was hot shit at the time. A lot of people were really celebrating what he was doing as World Junior Heavyweight Champion. You beat him, he goes bye-bye, and then you take that title for 2 years. And I asked you what it meant for you earlier, but like thinking back in that moment and getting that W over Joe Alonzo, like, did it surprise you? Did it shock you? Were you happy? I mean, obviously you're happy, but like, that changes your career direction very quickly.
I mean, no, I wasn't surprised at all, man. I've been putting in the work for years, and it may have shocked other people. It didn't shock me. You always kind of picture that first big title win in your head, that the celebration you'll have with the boys after. But there was literally nobody was there. It was NWA Chicago. I came back to the locker room. I had the belt. I saw Marche Rocket, and he was like, "Shit, you won?" I was like, "Thanks for watching my match, Marche." But no, I went back to the hotel that night. Homicide was there. I DoorDashed us some cheeseburgers, and then he went up to his room, and I drank a 6-pack in my room and celebrated, and that's about it. So no grand celebration that night, but no, it was a cool moment. Something I look back on fondly. Looking forward to doing it again.
How was the celebration in Forney, Texas, when you and Kerry walked out unbelievably the Crockett Cup winners? And that's not to throw any shade at you guys at all, but you were up against the former, Crockett Cup winners and Murdoch and Knox. I mean, there was a lot of solid, really good tag teams in that tournament. You guys walked out as the tournament champions, and your name is etched in stone next to Luger and Sting, next to the Road Warriors, next to PCO and Brody King. I mean, your guys' name's etched in that trophy, and that, again, your name lives in infamy for two reasons: the Crockett Cup and for that World Junior Heavyweight Championship. Tell me about that experience.
That was a great day. Country Gentlemen, Knox and Murdoch, and the Immortals. You talk about feeling like you're in a car crash the next day. That one was rough, but it was worth it. I didn't feel it at all that night. That was an adrenaline high like no other. Do it with my boy Kerry. Love that dude, man. We Rock and Roll Express never won the Crockett Cup. That's something Kerry can say. Got one up on his dad.
Yes, sir.
But the historical significance of that was not lost on me that night. Kerry's a good Christian boy. I think we got back to the hotel. He hosted a Bible study on Zoom, and he's got some charities he does. I don't know everything he does, man, but I celebrated with a case of Millers, and yeah, honestly, the only reason I'm upset about this podcast right now, I wish we were doing it later because I still got to go to the gym and do other stuff. I could have cracked open a cold one. We could have gone full shoot interview right here, man.
There is
We could have.
so many opportunities for you to come back and do that. I mean, we could do that at another date down the road for sure. But
I got so many people to bury, man.
that's my favorite kind of podcast. You mentioned Burt Prentice earlier. I want to know what Burt Prentice stories you have. We'll save that for another time.
Gotcha.
But of course, we're here promoting the NWA. We're promoting Power on Comment, which is available every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's 6 p.m. Central, and then 4 p.m. on the West Coast and in the Pacific time zone where I'm at. And it's on demand on the Comment TV website, comment.com. The new episode is up after it plays on Saturday. They throw it up on Sunday. You can watch it right now on the Comment TV. How cool is it that you're on TV? I mean, look, the NWA was on the CW app, which was really cool. It was on Roku, which is really cool. It was on YouTube. All that's really cool, but you're on a TV station. People can literally put your show on a Saturday in the middle of the afternoon, just like wrestling's supposed to be, and they can see you and your Southern Six brethren working in the NWA. I mean, how cool is that?
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's much easier to explain to my parents how to find the show now. They don't have to download an app.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I saw that the ratings were good. That's because me and Kerry were on the show.
Good point.
But yeah, so if they keep putting us on every week, the ratings should just keep soaring higher. I know the female demographic shoots up huge when we're on the show. Divorce rates go up all over the country.
Well, the numbers on this podcast are going up right now, just as we're speaking with you here. So I appreciate that. I could use a little boost in the numbers, so thank you for that.
Oh, hell yeah, brother, anytime.
So I know that you're recently married, and I'm a married man myself, and it's hard to hey, ladies, he's off the market, but you can look, but you can't touch. But how is married life treating you?
Oh, it's great. The only problem is I'm illiterate when it comes to technology. So usually she's got her MacBook here. It's what I usually do podcasts on, but she has it with her because she's in school. She has to do homework. So it took me 30 minutes to figure out how to get my camera to work on this. I'm using my iPhone right now. I tried to use her iPad, couldn't figure it out. Tennessee public school education, man. We didn't go over technology. We didn't get the internet till 2015.
Shit. You look great.
Thanks,
you're
man.
coming in clear. Everything's good. Poyo also wanted to correct me. I went backwards on the time. It's 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, and then 4 p.m. Pacific. So apologies, Poyo. Apologies, Comment. Apologies, NWA. I have, unfortunately, a Southern California education. Apparently, it's not much better than the education you got in Tennessee. But not first of all, because we've been talking for a while, but I would like to say thanks again for spending some of your time with us today. I know you're a busy man. I know you got to go work out at the gym, get ready for, what's next. Of course, we know that the big event is coming on June the 6th, Center Stage in Atlanta. There's no word on who you're facing just yet, but I'm sure that will be revealed very, very soon. Wrestling.
When you find out, let me know.
Oh, sure, fair enough. Center Stage, I've been to that building, not for an NWA event, but I did see wrestling there, and it's one of those sacred venues to me. It's here in Southern California, we have the Grand Olympic Auditorium where wrestling has happened there for generations. Now it's a Korean church. You have Madison Square Garden, one of the hallmarks of pro wrestling in the United States. But when you think about Center Stage and the history that it's had, of course, also the 2300 Arena, similar vibes to me, right? Like we have this hallowed ground where wrestling has happened for years and years, and we're talking about WCW Saturday Night, and before that, Jim Crockett Promotions, I believe, held events there as well. What does it mean to you as a wrestler in 2026 to step into that venue, to apply your craft in front of an audience that has witnessed some of the greatest wrestlers of all time?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it sounds cliche and a little corny, but you feel the history while you're there. You walk in, you think of all the names that have gone through this, been in the same locker room as you, wrestled in front of people there. It's very cool. Yeah, like even I got to wrestle once in the Asylum here in Nashville, like
Yes,
the
yes.
old fairgrounds before it got tore down. I've wrestled in the new one a few times, but it's just not the same. You got
Right,
to build that history up. But
right.
yeah, it's a building just like that. It feels cool just to know. Yeah,
I imagine walking in there, it's not like it's a jovial experience, but it's also kind of a heavy weight too, because like you have to, you're going into a venue that had held wrestling for many generations before you, and it's kind of your responsibility to make sure that you put on the best match that you can when you're there. So I think that's ultimately, again, yeah. And I'm not saying you take nights off, but in a place like the Asylum or a place like Center Stage, you really have to kind of step it up a level because you are in this hallowed ground.
exactly. Yeah, you got to do yourself right. Do right for the people who came before you. Just live up to that legacy.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up what we saw on the last episode of, actually, it was a week ago, the episode of Power when you guys unfortunately got eliminated by the Wrestling Machines. It was a fantastic match. You guys looked really good until the end. Of course, Kerry got a little distracted, wasn't able to get in there to make the save. And there was a little bit of hostility there. I mean, you guys put hands on one another. I mean, there was no fist, but you did definitely put hands. You pushed each other around a little bit. And we haven't seen you guys in the Southern Six have anything like that before. I mean, it's always been a very unified front. And this was the first time we saw that, there was a little bit of, you know, uh, I don't know how to say it. It seemed like you guys were genuinely upset at one another.
You got brothers.
Yeah.
Do you got brothers? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I got two brothers outside my Southern Six brothers. I grew up, we had fist fights with my brothers all the time. So shit's going to happen. I'm around these guys more than I'm around most of my family. So it's unfortunate what happened, and I hate that it played out in front of everyone to see, but everything's fine in the Southern Six. I mean, we got a lot more towns to make, a lot more T-shirts to sell, a lot more money to make. So, hell yeah, brother.
I'm representing.
Hell yes.
And again, I've been supporting that Southern Six since Australia. I felt like that was again, sorry, jumping around a little bit, but such a fantastic story. And the way it's played out, I feel like, again, the U.S. tag titles, the World Heavyweight Championship, the World Junior Heavyweight Championship. I mean, as a collective trio, you guys have really dominated the NWA. It seems like whenever you guys want to. So I guess my question for you now is, what's next? Obviously, the Crockett Cup is not going to happen this year, but what's next for Alex Taylor?
It's a good question. It's a lot I mean, Crockett Cup's out of the picture for this year. I mean, me and Kerry might take those World Tag Team titles. I don't know. I might have my mind set. Maybe I want to go after that national title. What's Mondo talking about? TV titles up in the air because that goof Brian Idol thinks he can beat the Thrillbilly. How many times does Thrilly have to beat the shit out of that guy? But
I mean, I thought after he broke his collarbone, I thought that was going to be the end of it.
I wish we were that lucky.
If somebody broke my collarbone, I'd be like, you know what? I don't think I need to mess with you anymore. I'm going to try myself somewhere else, see where else I can fit.
Yeah.
But
like Home Depot. He would have fit in great at Home Depot.
Damn. I thought you weren't going to be shooting on anyone right now.
Oh, no, that's not shooting.
That's fair. Poyo also wants to remind us that the NWA 78 at the 2300 Arena on, I believe it is, wait, don't help me. Okay, I need help. It's July 23rd, I think.
That sounds right. I have to look at my calendar, brother. I don't know.
Wait, I can look. I think I have it right here. I'm on the website. Yes. July 25th, excuse me, 7 p.m. at the 2300 Arena. You will be there. Your brothers and the Six will be there. It's of course, it's the anniversary show. Everyone's going to be there. And, again, the 2300 Arena, the ECW Arena, if you will, again, one of those sacred wrestling buildings. And when you walk in there, knowing that extreme history that's been there, knowing that you guys have been there, very exciting times for the NWA. Obviously, you got the big event in June, at the Hard Times, which is, again, one of my favorite events for the NWA. The very next night, there will be a live event in Georgia. And again, these tickets are available at NWA Wrestling. I want to make sure I get their website right before Poyo gets mad at me. NationalWrestlingAlliance.com/NWA live events. You can get your tickets there. You can see our guest this week, Too Hot to Trot, Alex Taylor.
Yes, sir.
And you know, a lot of good times are coming for the NWA, and a lot of good times are coming for the Southern Six. I really appreciate you hanging out with us on this Tuesday. Is there anything else you want to part us with before you leave for the day?
Well, there's many things I could say, but we're going to save that for our late night drinking shoot interview we're going to do.
I'll put that on the calendar. We'll do that before the anniversary show if you want to, man. I'll crack a few with you.
Hell yes. We'll get Plunkett in here too.
Hell yeah. Now you're talking about a party.
Make it a three-way dance. Get Deals here as well. We'll go.
We could do that.
Ill Begotten reunion. But most importantly, I want to leave you with these words of wisdom. When you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, oh.
I knew that was coming. What a great shit, man. I could talk to Alex Taylor all day, and we will have a special drinking show later at some point because Alex, and I've wanted to have him on the show for a very long time. So I want to say thank you to the NWA. Thank you to Poyo Damar. Thank you to Paul Pratt and everyone that helped make that possible. Alex Taylor, former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, former NWA U.S. Tag Team Champion, former Crockett Cup winner, and the sky's the limit with the Southern Six. I don't care what kind of pushing and shoving we saw on NWA Power last week. Again, brothers are going to be brothers. Brothers fight sometimes. So very excited to see what's next for the Southern Six. And of course, if you guys don't know, you can watch the NWA every single week on Comment TV on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Central, and again, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. They also do the replay at midnight, which I guess would also be 11 p.m. Central, and then again, 11 or midnight on the West Coast as well. And then they make those matches available to you on their website at commenttv.com. You don't want to miss out on that. The Crockett Cup continues this week. We'll have more matches that will be airing again on Comment. This past week we had a new Burke Invitational winner. We saw 2 tag teams advance in the Crockett Cup, and I don't want to ruin it for you. Go watch it on Comment TV yourselves and check it out because I think this is pretty cool, man. This OTA thing is pretty cool, and what the NWA is doing right now. There's more people talking about what the National Wrestling Alliance is doing right now than they have in a while. And I think that's because more people have this opportunity to see the program, and the numbers don't lie. I mean, people are talking about the NWA beating TNA in viewership. And, I don't know how all the TV numbers work, but I'm very happy for the NWA crew. I'm very happy to see what they were able to accomplish. And again, you guys can watch it every single week. That's going to do it for us now. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you at the matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.